Hello, everybody. What was that? It's a girl show. Today we have a special guest. Special. What? You see him right there. I got issues. He's known Star Wars expert. He's going to bring a lot to the table.
He personally requested the Ewoks episode because he knows a lot about it.
I'm what you would call an expert on.
That's right.
That's why he has it behind him already.
Furry creatures are my.
Is that on you? Like, okay, I shouldn't say
Disney
that.
Plus, probably.
Do you own the copy of that?
No. So listen. All kidding aside, I usually when I do shows, I throw up like sci-fi like artist alley videos or stuff like that, and I didn't really have any pre-prepared Star Wars like screensaver stuff, but I knew they did a cartoon obviously for Ewoks, so I typed it in on YouTube. And there's legitimately a playlist with like 48 episodes.
That's funny.
We're going to pretend like we did not say we were watching this on YouTube.
Plus and watch it. That's why.
Well, we're on YouTube. It's on YouTube. YouTube allowed it. So like,
Disney, in no way do we think that we have ownership of this. All rights are to the overlords. That is Disney. And I appreciate that you're allowing us to talk about your show and your world.
I mean, technically, Disney wasn't involved in this show.
They own it. They don't matter. That's actually worse. When they're not involved in any way, they are way stricter than when they are involved. I don't know why.
Should we be praying like the Ewoks?
Something. All right. So everyone's favorite characters. Always you love them. That is the Ewoks. Oh, Hoosier, what do you think?
Cuddly little demon spawn.
Demon spawns, interesting. Yeah. Kachong, they seem like they would be from Australia. So
are they bears? That was my first question.
I don't know.
Are they bears?
They could be just really hairy little people.
We know that whatever they are, they enjoy the taste of human meat.
We'll get into that. That is something that I didn't think was at all questioned, and then people are questioning it, and I think the people who are questioning it just don't bother. I don't know. Hitting Google because it doesn't seem like it's actually in question.
The biggest myth, but also like the most easily answered,
easily proved myth or rumor. All right, so the first time we see them is what movie?
Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
And I think this has got to be the first time. I think. Hold on.
Cut it out.
Oh, it's just a little bear.
There's something that I was specific about that part. I just realized with the Ewoks that when they originally put in the movies, they didn't blink at all. They were just like static eyes. And the re-releases and everything since, they added digital blinks to them.
Of course they did.
So it looks even weirder when they're in the scene. They're all standing around. They're all standing there just blinking like this.
They blink at the same time?
Yeah, they blink in unison half the time.
On the world out there, the universe that we don't need to talk about, where I find these clips from, it is hard. And even Casper here did not believe me. It is hard to find the actual full-on uploaded Ewok videos. Most of it are people with their cameras like shakingly recording their TV. It's super weird. He was like, "What do you mean? They got to be everywhere." I'm like, "Look for them. I couldn't find them anywhere."
Trying to find them carrying them off, and maybe some guy is like 2019 uploaded. Someone's filming his TV from like the angle.
Yeah,
so
it's super.
Oh, and he's shaking like this, and then all you're hearing is like the voices are bouncing off.
So, do we know anything about the development of the Ewoks? Did you look into that?
Yeah. So, what did you guys know before I say what
I remember hearing somewhere that
Jim Henson. That's what I assumed.
Jim is handsome, yeah.
I remember somewhere that it was originally going to be a different animal, like maybe even Chewbacca's people, but then they switched over to the Ewoks. I remember hearing that somewhere, but I didn't confirm it. Which, when you're doing a deep dive, I probably should have spent the time to Google that and confirm it, but I did not.
It's not like you are doing a show about it.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what I'm doing.
That information, so
it's not like I didn't have like 4 weeks to do more research since we kept pushing it back from the holidays too. So it's kind of weird.
Right.
So
yeah, the actual thing with the Ewoks. So originally the idea was to have the Wookiees be the ones to overthrow, but the issue came is that Lucas wanted a very like a primitive species to show the idea, technology fight. But the issue was that at that point, the Wookiees had been shown using technology and like you see Chewbacca working on ships, and like we saw with the holiday special, technically speaking, like we also saw them there. So they said, "Screw that! We're not going to use the Wookiees."
is that why? Is that why? Do you really believe that's why? Because he didn't want to show him new technology, or he knew that he had that sweet merchandise money that was going to get cashed in? Which one do you think it actually was?
He also realized he had a ton of little people on retainer still, and he couldn't pay for two of them standing on each other's shoulders. So they workshopped a bunch of different designs and creatures. A lot of them were like, they did look kind of like bears and almost like Tasmanian devils, and then they slowly just evolved them to look like as they do in the now, with just their faces as creepy as ever, basically.
I will say that when I was looking through videos and like trying to find something, so I'm like staring at all these clips, you can see that and of course Hollywood always does it, but this is old school stuff. This isn't CGI. So the people that are going to be on camera, like out front, they did a good job.
Yeah.
The ones that are always in the back, you could like literally see the seam going down the side if you look close enough.
Five costumes really well, 3 faces really well. The rest were just potato sacks and some fur glued onto it.
It was some of those costumes are very questionable. We'll put it like that.
Even Mogwai's blink. I just realized.
Yeah, they blinked.
Yeah. 1 year is probably between those movies too.
That would be actually, yeah, that's true. And then instead they just put like big jewels on their faces and didn't do anything.
Like taxonomy.
And the best part, I think, and if I remember correctly, we'll obviously a lot of Ewoks, but their eyes, like, it's not like sunken in at all, where like the eyelids are above it. Like there's literally no eyelids. So when they blink, it comes out of nowhere. Like literally recessed from his eyes comes a gorilla.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd. And then there's obviously, I mean, so they helped with the moon, and they helped get the all the shields down and all that kind of stuff. But it was always kind of weird if you watch it because they're very tiny. They seem to have some limitations, but yet they have 7,000-pound redwoods tied up with one rope that can be chopped with one axe. So it seems a little weird. And then they did build their and the coolest part is their village or whatever, being the greatest treehouse ever.
Inspired many generations.
I don't know if the movie, if you notice, there were genders, but I do believe the show, didn't they make pretty obvious female Ewoks?
I mean, looking over Chris's shoulder, I saw one wearing pink outfits, so I'm pretty sure.
I think so. I think it's like, I think it's like the Smurfs. You know what I mean? You get that one that has like long eyelashes, and there you go.
There's just one. That's what Disney should have done for their theme park. They should have done like an Ewoks village that you could stay in instead of charging $12,000 to stay in Starfleet headquarters and then
right.
Star Wars.
Apparently they won't be doing that much longer since they've had like 60% of decline to keep their appointments.
God, I still haven't looked anything into that, and I think we have to talk about that soon.
Yeah, it's not good. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of talk about the Ewoks as far as the movies goes.
Because it was the last movie in the original trilogy, and then we didn't see them in the prequels at all. Like there's no like mention of them at all because they weren't like a civilized species to show up in Coruscant or anything.
And the other question I have, which I had it, but I don't know what happened. I guess
they did have flying machines.
They did. They had
the little
gliders.
That's some technology.
And they dropped hammers on people. Or little rocks.
Little Looney Tunes.
They're like the Three Stooges of Star Wars canon.
Yeah, a little bit actually. But so I guess the only thing that we can say is they celebrated with them, which I thought was weird when they destroyed the Death Star. And there's been obviously people now, engineers and things, who have made videos, which are pretty funny that people spent that much time looking at it. that the amount of shit that would have been rained down, the hellfire that would have been rained down on that moon would have been. There's no more Ewoks. Let's put it like that. But
Dark side of Endor.
it is weird that they celebrated with him instead of getting in, ships that can go light speed and been in, their home planet really fast. But they hung out with them. But the only other question, like I was going to say, is did the Ewoks eat stormtroopers? Or
of course they did.
100.
well, here's the thing, though.
That's
Why would they only?
That's why they stayed for the celebration, because the Ewoks had mead and they had stormtrooper fajitas.
They had the barbacoa.
And the party was going. Listen, when you celebrate a victory, you don't go home. You just find the nearest Applebee's and you get the platter and as many drinks as you can.
You dip your chips in the salsa in the Scout Trooper's helmet, and you.
That's it. And you don't worry about where his body is and why. There's
some extra cartilage in your burger.
Yeah.
Did they ask them, or did they explain to him the difference between the stormtrooper and the rebellion soldiers? Because the first time they saw her, any of them was that, and they didn't even know what a helmet was. So they had to have been hunting all of them at some point, right? They didn't just think, oh, the ones in the white one, they make better eating. The ones in the white gear instead of the ones in the green gear.
They've been cooking inside slow roast.
So somebody walked over there and was like, hey, it's kind of a bad look. So can you take all of our guys' helmets off that line that you're gonna, when you're playing the drums, and just put the bad guys' helmets?
Yeah, I was saying, imagine that. They just have some of the rebel helmets.
Well, they'd acquired a taste for them because the Empire had been there a little while.
Yeah,
made their
building the cuisine.
Yes.
Right.
That's so when he first sees her, he has to think like that's eaten, right? Like he's got to look at her like that's like a fat pig ready to eat. Instead,
he probably thought with
because then he's not the greatest hunter in the world, though. That's the problem. Because if you see what you're hunting sleeping in the grass, you don't like wake it up first. You just like.
And you're like like he was doing all his weird talking, and he spooked that piece of meat.
What's it called? I mean, there is only one other Ewok running around in a pink dress. I'm pretty sure him seeing another woman was enough for him to be okay.
All right, so here is the scene where I think it would definitely confirm. So let's watch that.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
What did he say?
I'm rather embarrassed, General Solo, but it appears you are to be the main course at a banquet in my honor.
All right, so what's happening, Funk? So yeah, there is literally you're going to be a banquet in my honor. You can't get more obvious than we're going to have a banquet and you're the main course. And so I don't even know why this argument has continued, because there it is.
Right.
The first time their god shows up, they're like, what's good? Human. That's what's good.
And Wookiees.
And Wookiees.
You know what? I don't think that they've had Wookiee before, though, because they weren't doing any prep work on the meat.
They weren't skinning them. They were.
Yeah, you would you'd shave that Wookiee before you put it on the barbecue.
No, you would though. You would just rip them off like a deer, because Wookiee skins are very valuable.
Well, fine, whatever. You'd scalp them. Either way,
I mean, they might not know they're very valuable, but
either way, you don't cook them with the hair on. That's
you get the lawnmower 2.0 for your sponsors out there, and you would shave that Wookiee. Well, all right. I think that's you got anything else to add about the movie part of it before we jump into the
technically speaking, other than that, they do appear in one other movie, and that's about it.
Yeah, what's that?
It's another movie in the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
The movie is called.
The Wicket and his son presumably show up at the end of episode 9, staring up at the. Wait. I'm trying to think for a second now.
It's okay. We've all tried to forget that movie, so you can continue.
And I'm staring up at an explosion, but I'm like, it's not when you're close to them, though. And I'm like, It was just some Star Destroyers blowing up.
His son, yeah.
Yeah, him and his son, they're just staring up at the sky, going, "There's good food up there."
I can smell some good barbecue.
Barbecue.
That was the best Star Wars movie, number 9.
Number 9.
Yeah.
9 minus 6 is 3, so I agree with you.
We're gonna put a stop to that right now. He has no idea that I muted him. That's an automatic 5-second mute. I will have none of this talk on this channel.
You didn't let me finish my explanation.
Hey, what's going on behind you? I'm looking at these green rabbits like climbing up.
They're
Are those
crickets.
the Salacious Crumb people?
Oh yeah, those are Crumbs people.
That looks really inappropriate, but
It looks a little bit inappropriate.
they're doing it, man.
Is that still the Ewok?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that movie. All right, so let's jump into this. Let me share my screen here. Hopefully, the last video will again tell me that they can't show that.
What do you? Okay.
All
Oh,
right, here we go.
Technically, there is an. Oh, yeah, we'll get to it. That's fine. We'll get through with this. That makes more sense.
Sweet.
He was blinking right there, by the way.
Oh boy, don't go back. So yeah, so for the Ewoks, Wicket specifically, so they all appear in the 3rd issue of the Return of the Jedi adaptation, and the 4th one is when Wicket shows up, which is funny because he only shows up at the very end. And then after that, we see them in issue 82 and 94 of the original Marvel run, with 94 being the first cover appearance of Wicket. After that, they show up in all issues of Ewoks 1 through 14, based on the show. That's right behind Chris. And then issue 4 Droids, which crosses over. Now on top of that, issue 41 of the 98 series Star Wars. It's a cover only, and that's very small as well. Mostly just the Ewok show comics take up.
That not issue 41 at the end there, is that the one where they're like
Mounted on the wall like dead
mounted
animals?
on the wall?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. So
There we go.
the first time you see them show up is obviously when they get captured. And it's funny is you don't see Wicket in this issue at all. You only see the other ones the whole time.
Why did they choose to do that in the movie then?
Don't know. Maybe they did not want to draw any more Ewoks than they had to.
And the weird thing is, this guy, which I can't remember his name right now.
Tebow.
Yeah, Tebow. He's actually in the toys and a lot of other things. He's actually more prominent than Wicket in that too. Like,
I mean, he just has a cooler look. I think he has his skull.
That's probably why, though. Honestly, he has that animal skull or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then
I didn't know he had a flame feature. That's sweet, super sweet. I didn't know that he can throw flames out of his hands.
He put some skill points in other sections. And then on the right, so you have Wicket just giving R2 a little pat, and that's it. And he stands out in front of Lando, and everyone's clapping, and so that's all you see of them basically in the Return of the Jedi adaptation, and they show back up in issue 80, in the Marvel run, where they all Luke is practicing basically, and they're all fighting him just so he can train
with his green stick sword. That's kind of weird.
Stick, yeah.
But they go back to Endor?
They go back to Endor and they train and do some stuff, yeah. But it's more or less they're just training, not really doing any big combat. And then right here, on the left is the first cover appearance of Wicket, and
his salsa bucket.
His salsa bucket.
Yeah, they ate that guy.
That guy was eaten, no doubt about it. And then I think this would make a good tattoo for you, Casper. Nice.
Absolutely, just the rainbow part, please.
The middle one.
So the Ewoks. Yes, that's issue 1, issue 14. Just because all the covers, you don't need to see all the covers. They all look like that. So, I remember seeing. When I first went to the first time I went to Fan Expo after deciding to get back into comics and start collecting. I remember seeing it was first time seeing slabs, and I was like, "What are those?" and the first one I saw was a 9.8 Ewoks #1, and I think it was like $100 they had it for. I was looking at it like, what the fuck is this?
What? Okay.
And you didn't buy it?
I was like, that's $100. I don't even want to spend $20 on.
And then, like, I guess what is that, like Iron Man, and then I don't know, some white super droid, I guess, fought Tebow again, lost, it looks like.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
That's the gold armor Iron Man right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and this Star Wars droids, what is the just they appear in this?
Yeah, it's a crossover with the Endor or the Ewoks series, and
So they basically took two not well liked comic books, decided to do a crossover event, and think that would help.
Yeah, well, if 5 people like this and 5 people like this, and you put it together,
you get 5 people because they're the same 5 fucking people. And then there you go. Yeah, so the first another cover appearance is the only time. I'm sure you can tell who's mounted up there with them.
Oh yeah.
Is that comfortable? Like to lay your head on that guy's teeth? Like that isn't comfortable.
Well, that's not Jar Jar. Jar Jar is a Sith Lord, and he's
he would never.
Oh, he's actually just sticking his head through the drywall. He's actually perfect.
Look, this is the non-blinking one. Stare at it, Casper. Stare at it.
So yeah, if you look at this, there's no eyelids. It's just sticking out.
Hey, just a little podcast. What's happening, man?
Hey, Cookie.
And then canon appearances. This is really funny to me, because they show up in the Shattered Empire #1. So that's basically, it was an issue leading in to when the Force Awakens was coming up. It was their attempt to show what was happening afterwards. And that's where you first see them, as well as a cover appearance for them both.
Yeah, everyone needs that book, by the way.
Mm-hmm. It's also gorgeous art. Marco Cecchio did the interiors on that.
Got it right here.
It's a really nice cover too.
Mm-hmm. And then he shows
there's a zombie Ewok in the bottom. See a zombie Ewok?
Yeah, little beady eyes. That one wasn't blinking. That one held the stare for the longest time.
I have also the. This is a variant of that.
Variant with them there.
Full Wicket appearance.
Full Wicket photo real.
Yep.
No blinking involved.
It's a great issue too because it has Poe's parents.
Yeah, so the Poe, Poe's parents show up there because then Poe Dameron Annual 2, we see a flashback to the Ewoks, essentially watching them conceive Poe. So that's pretty great. And then after that, it's mostly just cover appearances and variants because they did the action figure variants and they pretty much did just constant Ewoks. And at that point, I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have six Ewoks in the variants.
There's actually also an Ewok. I will see it later, but there's actually an Ewok variant next week.
Another one coming.
Yeah.
Yay.
For Star Wars issue 20 that comes out next Wednesday, there's actually an action figure Ewok variant.
That's funny.
Wow.
So
there's your close-up of the Shattered Empire.
Look at those Stormtrooper helmets down there, man. Dinner.
Now there's something specifically fun about this where they actually make mention to like what are we eating here?
Yeah.
Like, what are we eating? And they don't question it. Someone says.
Right here it says, "Is this?
It's
I
deer
don't
meat.
even know what I'm eating. I'll have another." And clearly they're saying, "Is this human flesh?" Fine, don't worry about it. It's pretty good. You just got to season it, people. You just got to season it. That's all you got.
It's all the seasonings, right?
Oh, here's all the action figure covers.
Yeah, so these are the four. These are the four that came out during the original Star Wars series run of the 2015. I believe they came out pretty much in succession of each other. The issue numbers.
Chief Chirpa. I've always thought he showed too much teeth. He always bothered me when I was a kid. I didn't like all that teeth he shows.
Too much teeth.
Too much teeth.
And then there are these two, Ramba and Luma. These are from the new. These are from the new run currently. Issues 18 and 19.
Oh, there's what Kaching was talking about.
And then they're advanced technology known as the glider.
The hang glider.
Leonardo da Vinci did it for them.
Seriously, the first time you land, look at this nonsense. Is that going to follow down like a match, like a
How
match?
many
stick?
Ewoks died in
Yes, there's no way that holds up. Oh, okay. Do your thing. All right.
All right.
Oh, look at this guy go. All
The
right.
thing is that costume's better than 99% of the Ewok costumes on set. So here's something interesting. I looked up because obviously one of the big things about this movie with the Ewoks were employed to sell a lot of toys. And I was curious how many they actually made of them, and they made a bunch. But these three are just three Ewoks they had done: Chew Chirpa, Tebow, and Ewok number 3. And basically, yeah, they were just they're you can find them online for like relatively like normal. But the Wicket one sells for a good bit of money, which we'll see in a second.
Yeah.
I had the Tebow one.
So that one there, this was obviously November. This was back at the beginning of December when I found this. But yeah, one sold for $281 Canadian.
Which
That's
is like
amazing.
which is like $36 for us.
I know, right? The
So-
shipping all though will be
Pretty pricey.
But here's the thing. Like, I will say this though. The reason being though is that this card is completely flawless.
Oh, it's really
So,
nice, and
The plastic is crystal clear. They're usually yellowed, and I don't even think the punch has been punched out. Like it looks like
Yeah.
it's not even been punched out. So
that's-
that's like
So
It's
that's
got a
one
I got it
thing.
right here.
sticker on it though. It's got a sticker on it.
It's the same picture.
and actually a lot of collectors actually want those stickers too. That's the funny part. They actually want those.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh? That's interesting.
So
But
I could get a figure and stick it on here and sell it for 16.
Oh, good Lord Almighty!
if you for more Ewok stuff, did you do any of the clips I asked?
Me?
Yeah,
Well,
No.
he's not talking to me.
What clips did you ask me to do?
something from the other movie. They had literally Ewoks have had more multimedia to themselves than every other Star Wars character has had. They
No,
had
I don't-
2 movies to their
Something
name
about a
and a
I
whole
don't-
TV show.
I don't remember this clip request, but so
You know
no, I
what?
did not.
He probably asked you 3.5 weeks ago.
He probably did.
That's the truth. I never brought it up because we're gonna do a different show first.
Yeah, because there was a lot of shows that we were supposed to do this one. So no, I did not. And
Well-
everyone who's watching this in the future and currently will thank me for not putting that crap on the screen.
Well, at the very least, if anyone didn't know, the Ewoks actually had 2 films to their name, TV films, Caravan of Courage and the Battle of
Battle
Endor.
for Endor.
Yeah.
That's a classic. That's like I think they make a Criterion collection.
Yeah.
I buy a 2-pack one that had like the split line in the middle.
Not the holiday special?
No,
I want that on the back, on the flips,
The B-side.
the B side.
It was
But
enough
get
for
a-
a Ford to come back.
you can get them on Laserdisc. I think.
Oh no, I would love that. I was gonna say, yeah, so they've had 2 movies to their name, 2 TV movies, and then a whole TV series, which is more than you can be said for most Star Wars
I
characters.
can't imagine why Daddy Lucas wanted to give them their own movies over and over again. I just can't figure out
How many did
What?
he sell of those toys that may warrant 2 films?
enough that he made 2 films to sell more.
No, I never looked that up. Did he direct it? Who directed those?
So here's the two.
Oh,
the two,
and then
the two
the
piece.
costumes are even worse than those. Like they literally I don't even know. Like you think they would have reused them, but I think they did. But they were all like destroyed.
I don't
Battle
even know.
for
What to say.
Endor.
I have never actually watched any of these. I don't even know what I'm
You
looking
never
at.
really. That's funny.
No.
So that's the sequel.
Yeah, Caravan of Courage is the first one.
What
1984.
the hell is that? Like, what is that?
It's like Little House on the Prairie, but what is that?
Don't look at its eyes. Don't look directly in its eyes. Holy Jesus. That poor little girl never was the same after this. There's no doubt.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Well,
god.
she didn't act again.
If